The reality of the Nigerian legal system is that it's not designed for startups. And the work involved in changing that is engaging 360 House of Rep members, 109 senators, many of whom don't even know anything about tech. So as you can imagine, trying to get the rules to work for you is impossible. Under Itana, the big idea is that
let's talk about Itana. It's
Fantastic.
a very important question, and that's the only reason, one of the reasons why I'm here.
Yeah.
We see what is going on in Estonia, and a lot of people that in my cycle are saying they are trying to start a startup there. There's a lot of attractions there, and you don't have to be there to run a company and get all the success. And I love the fact that you're doing similar things in Nigeria here as well. And the possibility that other African startups as well can come and domicile here without having to be here.
Yeah.
So imagine if I don't know how many acres it is, I forgot it. That with the same size, we can have a couple of millions of people domiciled from there without having to be physically there.
Yes.
So we want to know more about it, and also how startups that are just getting incorporated, how they can get involved instead of having to go to Delaware or to go to somewhere.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's been 6 years. If there's anything that, you know how some people, once I do that one, I think I've delivered. I don't need anything again.
You delivered your mandate.
I've delivered completely. So the big idea with Itana is that the reality of the Nigerian legal system is that it's not designed for startups. And the work involved in changing that is engaging 360 House of Rep members, 109 senators, many of whom don't even know anything about tech. So as you can imagine, trying to get the rules to work for you is impossible. And there's this saying that it's better for you to, I think it says something like, it's better for you to build something new than to fight what exists. And me, I deeply believe it. So the idea with Itana is to actually build something new. So Itana is gotten to a very advanced stage, extremely advanced. So, for example, I'm just saying this. Let's keep it here. Don't talk about this. I'll give you exclusive, provided you keep quiet.
All right.
But so I registered my company in Itana, and I just got my certificate of registration. So I insisted that I have to be the first guinea pig. Because I'm like, first of all, I have to be 001 now. It's mine. I have to be company 001, number one, of course. And of course, we actually need it. So what it allows you to do, you get all the benefits of a free zone enterprise without necessarily having to be physically located in a free zone. Because even though we do have a physical location, so it's not like it's airless, but the idea is that you can just rent a space from us or do your board meetings there or whatever, as opposed to have to be physically present there. But you get everything you need for a company. You get your incorporation, certificate of registration, you get your bank accounts, you get your immigration. So if you're bringing in foreign talent, you can bring them in. The taxes are pretty decent. It's not free. We are trying to now work out a way where if you do business in the customs area, you have to pay VAT. But, we'll waive any taxes inside Itana. If you do business with an Itana company, you pay nothing because you're inside the zone. If you do business abroad, you pay, I think they're talking about 2% or 2.5%, which incentivizes more investment to come in. So it's been 6 years. It's been an incredible journey, but we really believe that this thing has to exist. It has to exist. So that's what we're doing.
All right. So I think I had someone here.
Thank you. My name is Nena Robert. So my question is really on bootstrapping.
Yes.
You spoke about startup having to build for a long time, sustain it as much as you can. Then from the entrepreneurship as a service, I got another word, equity as a service. What's the advice, or so to say, like a best practice for startups that are bootstrapping to outsource or get people who have the skills? You might not have the 10 years or 15 years experience. How do you leverage on things like equity? You might not have cash, to get those kind of people with the skills on board? How do you sustain that with that model? And then my second question is regarding Itana. For startups that want to get registered under Itana, do you have some sort of regulatory cover in terms of, let me use Nigeria for example, right? So a startup that registers under Itana, you don't have to worry about every other regulatory compliance and all that. Yeah.
So let me start with the latter. So under Itana, the big idea is that you are basically in essentially a forced lobby group. Not forced as in we forced you, but basically we have to represent you. Now, does that mean that you get out of every regulatory cover? No. But it means that we make the rules with the regulator. So for example, how you get a bank account, we will make that rule with CBN. CBN will tell us, this is important. And we'll say, this is important. We'll make the rule together. And at least you know that with us, the rules are what they are because it's a business. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And we'll have our channels of getting things done. Same thing with SEC. The good thing about free zone companies is that they are able to engage with the same regulators as non-free zone companies. So that's something that we're doing, right? So we even have something called DFZIN, Digital Free Zone Initiative, where all the free zone companies are like under a big lobby. So rather than you being lumped together with small businesses, this one, that people don't really understand your issues, you're like with all the other digital companies in the same house, and any arrangement that we deliver with the agency, automatically is grandfathered to you without you having to do anything. I don't know if that makes sense. Then the first question, so what I usually say is that equity is a tool. And for a tool to be effective, right, it has to work. The problem we've had with equity, there was a time equity worked well here, and that was during the boom markets. Because the way equity grows is that today I invest at 1 million. You understand? Your equity is worth 20 cents. Tomorrow I invest at 20 million. Your equity is worth, $2. The difference between 20 cents and $2 is my profits. In a down market, that's hard. So very mature and experienced people will not take equity in a down market because they are looking at it and saying, okay, how do I turn this equity to school fees? School fees owners, they don't collect equity. It's cash they are looking for. So I think it's important for you to understand, what are you trying to do? If I'm trying to share value, right? Then you say, okay, how much of this value am I contributing? And be honest with yourself about it. How much of this value is the other person contributing, and be honest with yourself about it. And then you find a medium. You understand what I'm saying? But you can't be far apart. I don't know if that makes sense. So that's how to think about it. So sometimes it might be bonus. Sometimes it might be, So it's just for you to now engage yourself, think about it, and then make a decision.
So my thought now is, for product that needs a lot of capital to monopolize the market, because I believe if you really want to be a business, monopolize the market, right? I don't care about what anyone sells, because that's the only way you can really scale and be sustainable and thrive. So for product that needs a lot of capital to break into the market, monopolize the market, and capture the market as fast as possible, because the moment the idea is out there, other copies start popping up, right? So how do you get investors to see this reality and invest in such a product? Because you need capital for the marketing.
So here's the truth, right? I mean, for me, that's also another thing that loses me, like where you lose me, right? Because if you tell me that all you need capital for is marketing, right? The marketing is not sustainable because customers know the finish. So when will you stop acquiring customers? You understand what I'm saying? And for me, I understand those underlying sentiments because that's what they are. I'm not trying to sugarcoat, because I've seen a lot of businesses that have done very well without spending as much on marketing. And the reason why they grow is because if you rank by effectiveness, thank God you're a marketing man. If you rank by effectiveness, all marketing channels, what is at the top?
Word of mouth.
I didn't say you should not spend on marketing, but the truth of the matter is word of mouth.